right, it's this time of the month where I go over my best 10 offensive teams and my 8 defensive teams for war. This is always one of my most liked videos for the month, and I just got to give everybody a shout out for liking last month's video. And so we're going to keep doing it because it's been a lot of fun to do it. And I do need to explain the way that I approach war. I am not in a strategically important defensive room, so my purpose is to be on offense. So in the first 2 hours of my war, I have to get 6 attacks in, and that is kind of the goal of most of our alliances, to go in the first 2 hours. And then when 2 hours and 45 minutes have passed, the 7th attack, and that's kind of a big deal. So a strong offense, and the whole game is pivoting towards offense because of X Factor getting offense boost tag. We've also got Shadowlands introduced. We've got a lot of very strong offensive teams, and getting towards and closer to a full clear is probably going to be a big deal for a lot of people. So this is about 10 offensive war teams and 8 defensive war teams. So typically when I go into a war and I see a team that I know I'm going to win, I will start at the bottom and I will use my 10th best team. And people say, well, that's a waste of a team. It doesn't matter. If it's my 10th best team, I'm probably going to get 10 attacks anyways. Also, I just want to give a big shout out to BlueStacks. I am sponsored by BlueStacks. So if you want to play Marvel Strike Force on your PC up to 60 frames per second, check it out. I got an FPS 120 right there. Actually, this is a lot of fun. It makes it really easy for me to make videos, and also you can see all my essentials to making videos right there. And also, if you're an iOS user, this is kind of a big deal too, because that'll allow you to use Amazon coins, because BlueStacks is technically an Android, and Amazon coins works on Android devices. Also sponsored by Amazon. Anyways, back to the video. Let's start at the top. We're going to go through my offensive war teams. Again, I'm in Platinum 2. I'm trying to get as many wins as possible, as quickly as possible, and that is the general strategy. And also, I was scrambling to make this video before I get my second run of Dark Dimension 4. I just unlocked Doom, and so when I get Doom fully unlocked, but after I've done the second run, I will have a different strategy on defense, because Doom is quite good on defense. So first things first, best offensive war team in the game is Black Order, and I personally feel that most people and most alliances should use Black Order on offense rather than defense, with the exception of a couple key rooms, or for people that don't really play. I guess there's some players out there that are active, they don't do a bunch of attacks early in the war. Yeah, maybe then you should put your Black Order on defense. But for me and our alliance, we typically put Black Order on offense, and they counter pretty much everything. Symbiotes are a great offensive war team, especially if your opponent's using Hela. I personally don't believe in using Hela on defense anymore. I feel she's great on offense. And some hybrid teams, which we're going to talk about. And then also the Nick Fury Coulson paired with Inhumans. If they're running Nick Fury, boy, Symbiotes can run over that too. In fact, I've pulled Nick Fury off of that team. Next, X-Force has to be on offense. Quite an amazing team for sure. This team right here kind of has fallen off a little bit because Beast has pivoted over to Astonishing X-Men, but still a very good team, of course. X-Men's an amazing team, has to be on offense. Brotherhood 2.0 counters a billion teams, quite good. And then let's talk about this right here. What I've been doing mostly, now this is my Blitz save squad right here, but typically what I've been doing on this team is removing Elsa and putting in Hela. And that allows me to take on 2 big teams when I put Hela instead of Elsa there. Doc Ock and also Wave 1 Avengers. I love it. Now, this team right here does not look this way at all on War. I typically run Zemo with Red Skull, Hydra Grenadier, which needs to have the highest attack if we're going to go up against Mercenaries. And then depending on who I'm going up against, I will put something else on their side. If I'm not going up against Mercenaries, I sometimes will put Hela here. If I'm going up against Mercenaries, I typically will put Red Guardian here instead of Winter Soldier and Crossbones and Kingpin. I do not use those, but I'm putting in Red Skull, Red Guardian, and then my highest other Hydra, which is typically a Hydra Rifle Trooper. It doesn't really matter on the 5th. And then if I'm going up against a non-mercenary team, I will put in Hela there. And boy, this team just destroys, boy, with Hela, because you can spread the ability block from Zemo. Quite good. Shadowlands. A lot of people say that this is the second best offensive war team in the game. The kit seems to destroy Marauders. I'm still figuring out that matchup. I had some difficulty in last war, and I timed out because the mechanics are a little bit different on offense in war with this team. So take a look at the kits carefully. I've practiced this team a ton in RTA, but it just plays differently in war. Typically, Moon Knight is going early. Elektra can do her ultimate turn 1 and put disrupted. White Tiger's middle ability has ability block, and so on and so on. Now, this team right here, Astonishing X-Men, will probably go on defense in war later, and I'll explain where, because there's a team I'm using right now on defense in war, which I will not keep there for very long. I'm just temporarily running right now, but I've seen a lot of other alliances running Astonishing X-Men on defensive war. I believe this is good on offense and defense. Now, on offense, if you do come across a Hela, they destroy Hela, as well as Symbiotes destroys Hela, any kind of Asgardian or team with Hela, so that's interesting. Very good team. Amazing team. Then, further down on the list, we have, of course, lastly, Power Armor, which is a very good team. The problem I have with Power Armor is that sometimes they're inconsistent. They give me troubles in the past. So those are my 10 offensive war teams. I also have Ultron for certain matchups that I will plug in Ultron. Quite often I will plug Ultron into my X-Men team, and I will put him right here instead of Storm. That works very well also. Now, let's go to my defensive teams, and this is the way it is set up now, and I want to explain each one of my teams, and we're going to just go through it. I use Fantastic Four on defense with She-Hulk. I could put them on offense with Namor. And then that's just for this last month, I've been putting them on defense. This team right here, I think, is fantastic with Ghost and Vision, and we got the rest of the Guardians. So this is like a kind of just like a tech team. Now, the thing that I think is important to notice right here is that I've got Star-Lord next to Ghost. And the idea there is that maybe Star-Lord will funnel some of the energy to Ghost, and Ghost will just wreck nerds because Ghost is very good. I don't really like Pimtech on defense, but Ghost is quite good. And I believe this team is better because Vision's going to give them defense up right when they spawn. And then you can get Star-Lord maybe giving energy to Ghost, and then Ghost destroying the team. The other thing, too, I've kind of got a strange ISO 8 configuration on that. I'm trying to take advantage of the Striker-Skirmisher combo with Star-Lord, Rocket, and Groot. Basically, the idea there is if they don't have vulnerable, when Star-Lord does his burst, then he'll get all the assists, and then because Groot is a skirmisher, he'll get an extra attack. So quite often, a Star-Lord and Rocket can be doing quad attacks. Hopefully, you can take out a squishy, right? I'm just trying to get people off guard. All right. And I think that if I'm thinking about this team, the only character I feel that's worth upgrading right now is Ghost. I think Ghost is a plug-and-play character, and she's going to be great in a lot of different places. And I also feel that way about Doc Ock over here. Doc Ock, I think, is that at some point as we get more teams, maybe the Sinister Sticks won't get used. But Doc Ock will. And I think Doc Ock's worth upgrading. I'm reluctant to upgrade the rest of my Sinister Six. Also, very important to have Healer on Doc Ock and having a strong Doc Ock because that can create problems for them. Wave 1 Avengers, I believe absolutely without a doubt that Thor is the best combo for this team to have Thor with the Wave 1 Avengers. I personally believe that as Guardians on defense are kind of dead right now, being that there's a couple really hard counters, one being Astonishing X-Men and the other one being Symbiotes. So I think that there's more value in putting Thor on with Wave 1 Avengers and then running Hela on offense. And even Loki with on offense. Like I was talking about that Red Skull, Zemo, Hydra Grenadier. Sometimes I'll run Loki and Hela together. It's quite amazing how well that team. Okay, so this team right here is Mercenaries. I'm still a fan of using Shuri and Killmonger. I'm not really a big fan of the skill military team. I felt like they didn't even merit me upgrading them. Now, this team right here I want to talk about. Now, this team will not be there next month, but I want to talk about why I did this month. First of all, X Factor got quite a big of an offensive boost in War. And so this team will be shifting to offense on War for next month, and probably Astonishing X-Men will go in the place of this team right here. But the thinking here is that Silver Surfer's new, this team is new, and the idea is one of two things: to confuse my opponent and or get them to overcommit. If I can get them to overcommit with a very strong team like Black Order, then that's a win. And the idea here also with Squirrel Girl is preventing the Brotherhood 2.0. She'll clear off the blinds. And Silver Surfer is just really fast. There's basically a couple immediate threats here. We've got the X Factor. Once they ramp up, they become a problem. They get better and better as the match goes on. And the same thing is true of Silver Surfer. And then Captain Marvel is a one-woman army. However, we're getting 2 new X Factor this month, Polaris and Multiple Men, and that's going to be an offensive war team. So my guess is that Astonishing X-Men will go into this place, and then that'll be a full offensive war team. That's just the way the game is working. Next, we have to talk about this team right here. I highly, highly, highly suggest not running Nick Fury. When you have Nick Fury on this team right here instead of Ms. Marvel, that's Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel. Then it becomes symbiotes can run over the team because Nick Fury screws up the team in 2 ways. One, he summons Shield Security, which is a protector, and that throws off Yo-Yo's passive. And then secondly, it's just food for Jubilee's passive and Carnage passives. Literally anything is better there than Nick Fury. Believe me, anything is better there than Nick Fury. There's some mild synergy there with Ms. Marvel, so why not, right? There might be some assists that go on. She's taunt. She kind of protects the team. I just think it's infinitely better than this, than it is with Nick Fury. I don't like the Nick Fury there. Anything is better than Nick Fury. And then lastly, we've got Marauders, and Sabretooth is the weak link there. I believe Minerva is much, much better there. Black Order, of course, will destroy this team still, and that's the idea. If I can get my opponent to use Black Order, then that's a win. But some of the off counters, I'm not talking about Shadowlands, but I'm talking about use like Powertron, where it's power armor with Ultron, or X-Men Tron. Where they're trying to get through the strife and they're struggling to get through the strife, maybe by using Ultron. Well, if Minerva can revive the strife, that's a huge problem. And the idea is that this is gonna hopefully give the alt counters more trouble than just forcing them to use Black Order. So this has been a very good success, a successful strategy. Again, I just want to reinforce the idea. I really believe offense is much more important than defense. And what I do at the end of the war, I go and I hit my button on my screen and I click on my name and I look at the characters I didn't use. And if there's a bunch of really strong characters I didn't use, those are the characters that I may consider putting on defense. But I really think it's a strong priority to build 10 amazing offensive war teams and know the counters and what they're used for. And then whatever's left over goes on defense. I think that'll lead to a better experience. So let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have any other strategies that are working very well for you. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming. Bye for now.